I'm sharing my screen. I hope everyone can see it. We're not having issues on that technical front right now. So thank you, Katie, for the introduction. My name is Claire. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. I work at the ShopRite of Shoes Landing, Glassboro, and West Deptford. So Glassboro would be the closest one to Rowan. So if you're ever in the area, you can stop by. And like Katie said, we're going to be talking about brain boosting foods on a budget. So a little bit of like the background of what can a dietitian help you with. So we can help you, find new recipes, understand food labels, how to stretch your grocery budget. So it would be something really helpful for college students or people trying to make ends meet right now, which I feel like are a lot of us. We can help manage food restrictions, allergies, keep you motivated. So we kind of do a wide variety of services for like all centered around food, which is awesome, and I love that. So part of the ShopRite dietitian program, we offer free individual nutrition counseling. We do shopping tours, cooking classes, kids events, community health and wellness events. So that's what this one would fall into. But all of our services are free. So if there is ever anything that you are hosting or wanting to learn more about, it's a really great resource to have in the community. And you get to hang out with me in a grocery store. So what's not to love about that? And just a shameless plug for becoming a registered dietitian, we have to complete our undergraduate degree from an accredited program. Then we have to complete at least a 1,200-hour kind of like supervised practice and then sit for a national exam. So we really push for people to eat healthy and live well, but also take advice from dietitians rather than just kind of like anyone on the internet or anyone that you kind of come across. So definitely vet your people, vet your sources, and look for the RD or RDN at the end of their name. So today we're going to be jumping into foods and habits that might help improve cognitive function, foods that may hinder cognitive function, budget-friendly brain-boosting foods, which is a tongue twister, and then a little cooking demonstration. And you guys are all muted right now, but if you have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat. We can definitely kind of open it up to a Q&A at the end or while I'm doing the cooking demo, but if it's pressing, definitely unmute yourself and we can chat. All right, so a little bit of background. So the brain, the brain has a really astonishing ability to adapt and change even into old age, and that's due to neuroplasticity. So your brain can form new neural pathways, alter existing connections, adapt and react in ever-changing ways. So the brain's ability to reshape definitely comes or stays true while we're discussing learning and memory. So we can create new cognitive abilities, enhance our learning, and improve your memory at any age. So I'm not sure the age of people who are on right now, if you're students or if you're faculty or community members, whomever, it is definitely not something that we only want to focus on in older age, but definitely kind of keeping everything strong and growing and nourishing throughout our whole life. So challenge your thinking. Memory, like muscular strength, is use it or lose it. I use that phrase very frequently in a lot of my sessions, kind of promoting people to move their bodies more, but also challenge your brain more. So we can't expect to lift up a really big weight if we haven't worked our way up to it, just like we can't expect our brains to do certain things if we haven't worked our way up to it. So the more that we exercise our brain, the better it will be. So continuing ed, taking classes that might not be inside your major just to explore and to learn new things using, if you're an art person, maybe take a science class, or if you're a science person, maybe take an art class, use the different sides of your brain to test it. And then always, we encourage people to try something new. So, learn how to speak another language, juggle, dance, try golf. Anything that kind of challenges you and takes you out of your comfort zone or your brain's comfort zone is going to help create new neural pathways. So more than 100 million adults worldwide are projected to develop dementia by 2050, and an additional 5.4 million will have a cognitive impairment that does not reach the threshold of dementia. So that's a pretty large number. And this isn't meant to scare anyone or anything like that, but just, we talk a lot about our body's physical health, but it's very important to talk about our brain's health and keeping it healthy. So hopefully some of the things that we discussed can help lay the groundwork for a brain boost in your life. So we encourage the MIND diet typically for prevention and treatment of cognitive decline. So this is a combination diet that pairs the Mediterranean diet with the DASH diet to create the Mediterranean DASH intervention for neurodegenerative delay, MIND. These are both emphasizing fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, fish, unsaturated fatty acids, lower intakes of dairy and meat, incorporating lower sodium foods and in lower sodium diets to help reduce the risk of high blood pressure and stroke. So if you ask, I think most dietitians would say a first layer would be the Mediterranean diet for kind of like anyone, unless we have certain disease states. But the Mediterranean diet partnered with this DASH diet is really showing some nice research for treating cognitive decline and preventing it. So it shouldn't come as a surprise, that we're seeing we're trying to emphasize increasing fruits, vegetables, anything that kind of grows from the earth, with some of those unsaturated fats and keeping dairy and meat consumption minimal to infrequent. So that's the diet that's kind of recommended. And this is a nice graphic kind of featuring it. So, berries at least twice a week, a serving of nuts, poultry, beans, legumes. There is recommendation for a 5-ounce glass of red wine each day, which might make some people happy. If you don't drink alcohol or you are not old enough to drink alcohol, purple grape juice can help provide many of the same benefits. Pastries and sweets less than 5 times a week. So kind of all the things that we've been trying to encourage and educate on are featured in this diet, which is not surprising. So jumping into our first food, I can't see that, okay. Omega-3 fatty acids, so these are unsaturated fatty acids. So the DHA and EPA are imperative for maintaining cognitive abilities and functioning. Studies have shown that omega-3 fatty acids have been beneficial in mood disorders, and deficiencies have been linked to ADHD, depression, dementia, and bipolar disorder. So some sources of omega-3 fatty acids are salmon, which is probably the one that most people associate with, but we can also find it in flax seeds, chia seeds, kiwis, and walnuts. So oftentimes I find that some of these healthier products get kind of like the label of being expensive or eating healthy is expensive. Obviously, salmon is a little bit pricier of a source of omega-3 fatty acids, but if we turn towards those flax meal and the chia seeds, we're looking at 19 cents per serving, 43 cents per serving. So it can be a really quick and affordable way to incorporate more fatty acids into your diet. So about 60% of our brain is made of fat. And we really want to use omega-3 fatty acids to help support brain and nerve cell production and create memories and learning and all that great stuff. So our budget-friendly tip for omega-3 fatty acids would be, flax meal and chia seeds, and then try adding them to your smoothies or yogurt for like a fiber and fatty acid boost. Curcumin is our next one. I always say that wrong. Could also be known as turmeric. So this, it's a spice that may show promise for delaying cognitive decline in mice. It's anti-inflammatory, and then it does need to be paired with black pepper to be activated. If you like curries and that kind of like deeper spice levels, I would encourage you, maybe trying a turmeric latte or cooking with turmeric, making like a turmeric chicken over brown rice, something like that. I have not gotten super into turmeric. It's on my list for 2021. So I will definitely can report back on some additional tips, but turmeric is a known anti-inflammatory. So incorporating that in for a brain boost. Our next is flavonoids. This is a particular phytonutrient that has powerful antioxidants. So it's responsible for, a variety of colors found in your fruits and vegetables. We often will say, eat the rainbow. And that's because each color kind of provides us with different nutrients. So flavonoids may help improve cognitive function in the elderly and improve blood flow to the brain. Some sources could include cacao, green tea, ginkgo tree, citrus fruits, wine, dark chocolate, Brussels sprouts, and berries. So kind of a nice variety of things. With the cocoa or cacao, it is important to note that we do want to have kind of over, I would say like 75 or 82% cocoa to receive the benefit. So yes, chocolate is healthy or dark chocolate's healthy, but with some of those added sugars, it kind of takes away from the effects of it. And like we said earlier or previously, drinking wine in moderation, a 5-ounce glass has shown some benefits, but not using this maybe as like an excuse or a reason to indulge more frequently. And then our budget-friendly tip for flavonoids would be to purchase frozen fruits and vegetables for peak nutrients and a budget-conscious price. So currently, if you've been to a grocery store, you might notice that berries are very expensive. Or maybe not even available at all. And that is because they're out of season and there's been, production delays wherever. So berries aren't readily available. But if we go to the freezer, we see that, there's bags of berries on sale right now, and you get, ripe strawberries or whatever berry at a budget-friendly price that aren't going to go bad, and you can keep on hand for whenever you might need an additional fruit or vegetable in your diet. And then we are in citrus season, so shopping seasonally can also help be a budget tip. And right now, a 3-pound bag of cutie clementines are on sale for $3.99. I think there's about like 20 clementines, don't quote me on that, in a bag. So you're really getting a nice amount for $4. Can't really beat that. And you get a nice flavonoid boost. Okay, vitamin D. I feel like vitamin D has been kind of like everywhere recently, especially with COVID. And, leaving the winter months, I feel like everyone says that they're vitamin D deficient, which many of us probably were. But vitamin D can be helpful for preserving cognition. We do see a lot of people, particularly the elderly, be vitamin D insufficient, especially where we live. In the Northeast, there are many days, I feel like the sun's finally peeking out, but many days where it's gray and we're not getting the vitamin D from the sun. And some sources could include sunlight, fatty fish, mushrooms, fortified products, milk, and soy. And mushrooms, cheese, fortified fruits, eggs, salmon, those are all affordable and can fit into any budget, but calling out eggs specifically, eggs are a very affordable powerhouse of nutrients that goes beyond vitamin D. They do provide protein and fat and choline and tons of other things that are very much needed in our diets. And it's roughly 15 cents per egg, depending on what kind of egg you get. So incorporating an egg into your diet every day has been proven to be healthy, and the average American can incorporate eggs on a daily basis. For a while there, they were like teetering with the bad cholesterol. We shouldn't eat eggs, not the yolk, but all the research is pointing towards incorporating the full egg. So getting all the healthy fats from the yolk and all the other nutrients in your diet every day. And cheese, who doesn't love cheese? So definitely eat more cheese. And vitamin E. So vitamin E is an antioxidant. It, amelioration of cognitive impairment after brain trauma in rodents. So it helps improve improve your brain after trauma. And some sources could include asparagus, avocado, nuts, peanuts, olives, seeds, spinach, and wheat germ. And our tip would be to incorporate, bowl and basket, which is the ShopRite label, peanut butter. Currently, it's $1.49, and that is about 9 cents per ounce. So again, really affordable. For nut butters, we do encourage that it's 2 ingredients or less on the label. And so that kind of means that if you're buying peanut butter, it should be peanut butter or peanuts and salt, if you choose to include a salted version of that nut. And this can help to reduce, pro-inflammatory oils or added sugars from some of the other nut butters that might be on the market that, we want to incorporate the nuts and the nut butters into our diet. But sometimes don't want all the added stuff. So definitely look for 2 ingredients. Obviously, the most budget conscious would be to use what's in your pantry first. And then if you are up for another jar of peanut butter, almond butter, be a little detective. We love seeing people flip over the jars and looking at the back label to see what's actually in the product. And, is there added sugar? Is there how much sodium is in it? So 2 ingredients or less for nut butters, but nut butters can provide vitamin E. Okay, so mind-hindering foods. Don't like to take it to a negative level, but we could probably touch on this. So this shouldn't come as any surprise. It's our saturated fats, trans fats, refined carbs, and added sugar, and processed food. So kind of all the things, that are the opposite of what we would include in the mind diet would be things we'd want to limit. So saturated fats could include butter, coconut oil, dairy products, heavier creams, and meat. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature, so that can also be another way to identify them. So if you've ever used coconut oil, you will, if you keep it out on your counter or anything, it is solid. And this should be limited in our diet to less than 10% of your daily calories. So if you, should I do that or can you do that? Okay. So if you're looking at your fact labels and you see a product that has 7% of your saturated fat for the day, then you kind of can do the math and mentally kind of figure out the rest of your products and know, like, okay, I'm at 7%, I'm trying to stay under 10 or as close to 0 as possible. How do I do that? Another fat that we try to limit is trans fat. And this is because it is chemically processed and manufactured. So it's typically found in packaged goods, baked goods, can be found in peanut butters, which is why we encourage, that 2 ingredients or less, shortening, snack foods, pre-made cookies, cakes, whatever your craving is. So trans fats should be kept to like less than 1% of your daily calories, or eliminated from your diet if possible. So that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy cookies or packaged goods or things like that. It's just how are we making it and how can we make it, work for our bodies better. And then refined carbs and added sugar. So refined carbs and sugars could be, white bread, some baked goods, crackers, chips, sugary beverages. It's a carb. So carbohydrates, I've had this conversation many times this week. Carbohydrates are not bad. We do not want to limit carbs in our diet. They're our body's main fuel source. We want to pick better carbs, more complex carbs. And that basically just means that we want, if we're talking chemistry, we want a longer chain of glucose that can then be broken down and provide your body with fiber. So what could that be? That could be a piece of whole wheat bread that has fiber versus the white bread that has added sugar and no fiber. So carbs are needed and necessary in our diet. And it's more about what we're selecting rather than the label of carbohydrate. So it is important to note that one study of university students who had a higher intake of fat and refined sugar also had poorer memory. So that might not be a good excuse to give your professor he didn't do well on a test or an exam or something, but definitely keep it in the back of your head. If you're studying at the library one night, and you kind of have two options, we definitely encourage kind of like that more whole, less processed food or snack. And that could be a nice brain boost for you. So before we get into the brief cooking demo, I did just kind of want to touch on what some brain positive activities or habits could be, if anyone wants to unmute and share what they would be thinking for a positive brain boost.
The first thing that came to my head was like Sudoku.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So challenging your brain, for sure. You definitely do want to encourage some aerobic exercises. So, exercise that requires oxygen, kind of get oxygen and your blood flow and things to your brain. So encouraging exercise. There's another one that I'm thinking of that it's more like a lifestyle habit that we do every day or every night.
Yoga or meditation?
Yes, yoga and meditation is definitely a positive for our brain. Wasn't the one that I was thinking of, so there is still one out there that is on the front of my brain. I would love to do yoga and meditation every night. I'm not sure when I will get to that point, but definitely working towards every night. So what's another thing that we would do on a daily basis?
Getting good sleep.
Yes, sleep is super important. There are studies that show if under a certain amount of sleep, the next day people gravitate towards more fatty and sugary foods and have an excess of 300 calories in their diet. So sleep is super important for our brains to kind of like reset and reload, but also for our bodies to take a rest and look forward to the next day and be able to choose healthier options and better for you foods more often than not. So another shameless plug that it's not like we're all in, we can't incorporate or can't have certain things in our diet. It is all about moderation and keeping that balancing act and doing things that work for you and your lifestyle, with keeping health on the forefront of your brain. And how do you incorporate more healthy activities, more healthy foods while maintaining your lifestyle and your mental health. Does anybody else have any ideas of to something that could improve or have a connection to brain health? It's a little bit trickier. I'm trying to think of a hint that I could give. You can't physically see it. It's not an external part of our body. Sometimes it's called the second brain.
Is this are you referring to like gut health or digestion?
Yeah. So gut health or digestive tract, gastrointestinal, it's often called your second brain because it controls so much of not so much, but a good amount of your body. And it's thought to be kind of where your immune system might kind of get its origin. So promoting good gut health can also help overall health and our brain health. Incorporating probiotic foods, not necessarily supplements, but yogurt, sauerkrauts, kimchi, fermented foods can help promote healthy gut bacteria and promotion of gut flora. And that also ties back into fiber. Talking about complex carbs, fiber is what our gut flora kind of eat away at and are unsuccessful. So it kind of challenges your gut flora to grow and be fed. So definitely keeping fiber incorporated into your diet can be another really helpful overall health tool. Okay, so now for the fun part, I'm going to make a PB&J chia seed pudding. This recipe was adapted from running on real food, and this I thought kind of hit every slide that I had. So, you know, we have our chia seeds, we have some nice fatty acids and fiber, we got peanut butter, so we're using our our vitamin E. We're doing frozen berries, so we're getting some flavonoids. I'm just missing vitamin D because I'm using almond milk, so there's not as much almond milk, but you could definitely get it from that as well. So I'm going to, does anybody have any questions before I jump into this? I don't know if I can see a chat box.
Well, I have a question. Can we print these slides somehow?
Yeah, so I can definitely send them to Katie with another handout that we can share with the participants. There's a lot of information. I know we went kind of fast and covered a lot, so we can definitely make sure that you can go back and review these, okay?
Yeah,
Great.
if you send them to me, I'll send them to everybody who's here.
Perfect, okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that you can pin me. If you want to make me the center of your screen, and you can see into my kitchen a little bit. We're gonna start kind of backwards. I'm gonna be making the strawberry jam first, and then go into the chia seed pudding. So with the strawberry jam, like I said earlier, berries are very expensive right now and kind of not available. So we're gonna be using frozen strawberries to make jam. I'm choosing not to add any sweetener. I think berries and fruit is very sweet on its own. You can definitely incorporate, you know, maple syrup or your sweetener of choice if you're choosing to incorporate that. But this could be a really nice recipe to limit added sugars and see if you can kind of retrain your taste buds to enjoy the natural sugar that is berries, nature's candy. Really, I say this every time I do a cooking demo. I need like a production assistant. Like, it's not the Food Network over here. I try. So I'm just gonna take a cup of strawberries. Oh boy. And we're just gonna put that on the stove over like medium, low heat, and let those hang out for a little bit. Has anyone ever made or had chia seed pudding before? No? Does anybody have chia seeds in their pantry and they're like, I bought these, but I have no idea why?
I did. That was me. I
Okay.
purchased them, so this is going to be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, chia seeds are super easy if you know what to do with them because they don't really taste like anything. But it's also kind of like, what do I do with them? So, you know, you can throw chia seeds into your smoothie. You can add them to oatmeal if you make oatmeal every day for a nice fiber and fat boost. You could sprinkle them on top of a peanut butter toast with a banana. There's kind of like no right or wrong way. It's just personal preference and how you want to enjoy it. I'm gonna just prop you guys up there. We're just frosting. As they get softer, I'm just going to squish them. You can do this with any, you know, fresh berry. You can make a homemade jam, and that is just smashing the berry and adding about a tablespoon of chia seeds. And the beauty of chia seeds is that they soak up the liquid that they're in. So, you know, you smash a fresh raspberry or a fresh blueberry and there is some liquid. So incorporating the chia seeds will help make it kind of like a gel-like consistency and absorb all of that liquid to make a homemade, no sugar added jam that doesn't need to be canned and sealed and all that fun stuff. Oh boy, maybe I shouldn't have worn white. Oh, I'm smashing strawberries. It's okay. Right. Lost one. Maybe I should have defrosted them a little bit before, but we're working on it. Let's get a peek into the pan. Again, a little bit pretty soft. So we want to see. Okay. All right, so for the purposes of this, we're just gonna go with this. I have two kind of still whole strawberries, but that's okay. I can still make jam with it. And I'm going to take chia seeds and sprinkle in about a tablespoon and then turn the heat off and let it set. You have a question?
There, I'm not much of a cook, but
Okay.
I've never heard of chia seeds. Are they available at any supermarket?
Yeah, so they're available at, I would say, almost all supermarkets. I don't want to say every supermarket, but I know that all of our ShopRites have them. So you're going to find these down like the baking and granola aisle. Granted, they are different in like every store, but baking aisle is typically where they're found. And that's where you can find flax meal as well. So this is the brand that was on sale, and that's why I grabbed them today. That's chia seeds.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like, and then we'll check in on it after the chia seeds like work their magic and soak up all the juice. So it's pretty liquidy, but we'll let them do their thing for a little bit. And then to a jar, I'm going to freeze my strawberries, and then I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of chia seeds. Drop those in. It does make a lot of pudding. So if you were going to make this, it could be a meal, it could be a snack, it could be dessert. So it kind of depends on whatever you want it to be. The serving size is 1 tablespoon. So this is probably about like 2 or 3 tablespoons. So just know, 1 tablespoon provides us with 4 grams of fiber, which is 14% of our daily value. So if you incorporate 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons a day, you're almost a third of the way of getting your fiber in a really affordable and kind of tasteless way, because definitely fiber supplements don't often taste the best. I'm going to add a cup of almond milk. You can use whatever milk you want. So a cup of almond milk goes in. A little splash of vanilla. And then some peanut butter. I don't measure a lot when I cook. So that's why it's hard for me sometimes to do these demos, because I'm like, oh, just eyeball it. So the recipe says 3 tablespoons. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Also, sometimes I don't like cleaning more dishes, so that's why I just pour things in. And I'm like, that looks like a good amount. So that's what we'll do here. First, 1, 2, can't have too much peanut butter, so it's not a bad thing, right? So now, and again, if you are, you're allergic to nuts or something like that, you could use a sun butter, or you could use the chia seed pudding base recipe and not add peanut butter. You could throw in some 100% cacao and make a chocolate strawberry, whatever you want. So for maybe not nut friends, there is still a way to get your chia seed pudding in. I'm just gonna give this a nice stir. It's very liquidy, as you can see. You know, I just poured in a whole cup of almond milk. And then this is gonna go in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour, ideally kind of like overnight, so that you can get all of the liquid absorbed by the chia seed. So it's an insoluble fiber that's going to soak up all the liquid, and that's kind of what it could also, you could think of it in your gut. It's kind of like soaking up liquid and adding bulk and then kind of getting excreted out. So it helps to carry out things, it helps to make you feel full. So adding chia seeds is really helpful. But lucky for you, I have another one. Again, I feel like I'm on the Food Network or a cooking show, something. So this one I made at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So it's only been an hour and you can already see the differences. So it really does become a gelatinous pudding-like substance. Just gonna mix this up. And then our jam is looking nice. You see it's kind of got a little bit thicker. I'm just going to take a scoop of it. And then you could also top it with, you know, other fresh fruit. You could throw in a little bit of yogurt for some extra protein. Anything you want. I'm going to add one of these Holy Rollies. It's a peanut butter cocoa bite. These we have at all of our ShopRites. They're really good. They're kind of forgotten about. There's only 5 or 6 ingredients in them. They're from the brand Crazy Richards, which is a peanut butter company. I don't know if anyone's familiar with them. So these bites have peanut butter, oats, dates, cacao nibs, and unsweetened toasted coconut. So they're really tasty. They're very peanut buttery. So I think that they've congealed into one bowl. So I'm gonna take one and kind of plop it on top. There are 2 other flavors of them, but these are really nice. You know, they are in the freezer section, but they aren't perishable. They just maintain their shape a little bit better in their freezer. So you could put them in a lunchbox. You could bring them to your office and keep them at your desk for like up to a week, whatever your lifestyle needs. Just, you know, for that added fat boost throughout the day, a little bit more of a nutrient dense nibble than what you might be nibbling on now. So something to incorporate. And then because I think everything's better with chocolate, I'm going to throw on some 100% cacao nibs. Definitely an acquired taste. So if you're in the Hershey's world right now, these probably are going to taste not so hot, but worth a shot. Definitely good to incorporate it into here because there's lots of other yummy sweet flavors.
Now you're talking my language.
Chocolate, peanut butter, strawberry, and then you get omega-3 fatty acids, fiber. It's like a win-win-win. So this is my finished product. You got the aerial view. And there it is. It can stay up in your fridge, you know, 3 to 5 days. Nothing's going to really go bad into it. It just might kind of get a little less pudding-like, a little dried out, but a nice snack if you're trying to reduce your added sugar intake. You could make this with no added sugar and appreciate the sweetness of everything that's in it. And it does keep you really full because of all the fiber that chia seeds provide. So if you make it, let me know. And I can put my contact information into the chat because I'm in your area. And if you guys ever need anything, if you're shopping at the store, at the Glassboro store, I'm there once a week. And we can definitely set up a time to chat further. Anybody have any questions for me?
I'm mostly just impressed with how you navigated the camera, the cooking, all the berries. So that was really a wonderful demonstration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for the information about the chia seeds. I'm definitely going to use that.
Yeah.
Gerald, did you
great.
have a question? I noticed you
I
came
was-
off of mute.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't forget to send the slides to Kathleen.
Definitely. I will definitely send them along. And the recorded version will be available as well.
Absolutely, yes. So this is being recorded and it will be posted by next Wednesday on our website. But I'll be sure to send you the slides so that you can use that great information that Claire provided. If anybody has any other questions, please do put them in the chat. If you look at the chat, Claire's also put her information in there that you can use. And I know when I was chatting with Claire as we were setting this session up, I was definitely impressed with all the services that you provide through Zally's and ShopRite. So please take advantage of those. A lot of great information. I feel like I'm learning a lot with each conversation we have. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Definitely. It's a free resource. If you have any questions, you went to the doctor, you need clarity on something, you don't know what to make for dinner, we're there to help guide everyone.
I want to make one more comment. I have a ShopRite very close to me. Do all the ShopRites have those chia seeds?
I believe, what ShopRite do you shop at?
It's in, what town is that? You know, in New Jersey, every couple of blocks here, there's a new town. But I'm in Gloucester City and it's right next to us in Brooklawn. Yeah, I think it's Brooklawn.
Okay, I'm not sure if, I don't believe the shop right there is owned by the company that I work for, the Zally's family. So they should have chia seeds. I would really be surprised if they didn't. It's a pretty, universal food now that people are trying to buy. But you can definitely take down my information. And if they don't have them, you can let me know and I'll find them for you.
Well, you're saying the ShopRite in Glassboro definitely has them, right?
Definitely, yep.
Well, I teach at Rowan, so
Okay.
I'm right there.
Yeah,
I'll get-
that can be your new shop, right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you all so much. And again, thank you so much to Claire for your time and all of this information. How wonderful to share. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and maybe we'll see each other either in person at some point soon or on another virtual session, hopefully. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks
Have a
again.
good one.
Have a great night.
The ice cream truck is growing.
Bye-bye.
Like, should I? Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.